What is going on, guys? SkiveWalker here, and the dynamic duo from Akron, Ohio is back again, breaking down the divisional round. Mr. Fett, how are you doing this morning?
Well, I've officially recovered from last week's letdown and my terrible prediction of the Chargers not adjusting.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I thought the Bears would win by a lot, and Mitch Trubisky continue to not be able to get first downs.
That's a good point. At least we lost by Lamar Jackson's hand and not Cody Parkey's leg.
Right.
So,
the double dunk.
Shout out to your pops. Dave, sorry, buddy.
He was not very happy. He was not happy.
Have you seen all the hate mail that guy's got, too?
Oh, yeah.
People like, 11 total kicks missed. I think it was 5 or 6 extra points and then 5 field goals.
Yep, all off the left upright.
Oh, my goodness, just
did
curved
the same thing in Cleveland.
But, yeah, he did do the same thing in Cleveland. He did the same thing in Philly, which is ironic. It happens against Philly. So it looks like they got the better part of him leaving. But anyways, I'm over it. You guys played well last week. The Colts,
sure did.
They look good.
Dominated the Texans.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson, but you need healthy weapons. And a Le'Veon Bell in your backfield would be the difference between losing in the wild card game and hosting a playoff game.
And maybe a coach. Because Bill O'Brien is one of the biggest choke artists, I think, in NFL history. He always has a good team in the regular season and then is one and done.
Well, let's be realistic. The division and his schedule, the division is, I don't know, it's constantly in a flux because you had the Jaguars last year that were dominant. Now they're terrible.
And then you had the Texans win the division, the Colts snuck in the wild card, and the Titans would have won the wild card if they beat the Colts at the end.
Exactly.
So you had 3 playoff teams right there, and then the Jaguars.
So it was a very competitive, and then the Jaguars, they pulled off a couple upsets at the end of the year. They weren't supposed to, but they're still not
they're not very good. They need a quarterback in a bad
Joe
way.
Flacco, take him.
I could see it happening, to be honest. I see it happening.
Take him. I only want a 6-rounder.
Only a 6. I think you can get at least a third, probably a second.
No, not with the cap hit on that. That's like $22 million, I guess.
We'll see. You're gonna get something out of that quarterback. Flacco still got something left.
I hope either that or Arizona are what we're looking at destination-wise, hopefully, to get a trade. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into the playoffs, and we're going to start off with your mighty Indianapolis Colts traveling to Kansas City.
4:35 kickoff time. Again, first game of the week, and it worked out well for us last time. A lot of snow in Kansas City last night. They're supposed to be getting another 1 to 3 again this morning, and it's weird to say because the Colts are a dome team, but the more snow and the colder it is, the better it fits the Colts.
And you know what? It'll be even better, too, because we don't have to worry about Patrick Mahomes letting any air out of the football this game.
That's right. And as fast as Tyreek Hill is, when there's snow on the ground, everybody's just about the same speed, so it completely takes away that element to his game, and even Frank Reich said it. He said there's elite speed, and then there's Tyreek Hill speed. The guy's by far the fastest guy in the NFL.
Human cheetah.
Yeah, he is that fast. He's lightning fast. So to be able to take that away, and I think he was already going to be limited enough as it is, just the way that the Colts play that Tampa 2, because they always have that one deep safety back there, so he's always kind of double covered in the deep zone. And Malik Hooker's no slouch. He's a pretty darn good safety.
I knew you were going to bring your Buckeye guy
So even if they try to undercut him, Malik Hooker's able to get over there and recover quick enough. But Tyreek Hill's still a superstar receiver. Yes. So I think he still would have gone off for about 95 yards, which is still a great day. Right. But with all the weather conditions, Andrew Luck, if you go up and down both rosters, the Chiefs had the better season by far. Obviously, 12-4 is an amazing record.
Won the division.
Right, and they had probably one of the best offenses this NFL has ever seen. The Colts have the better defense. I still think Andrew Luck's a better quarterback. They have the better running game. They have the better offensive and defensive line. So the Chiefs are getting all this hype from being 12-4. It's still Andy Reid and the Chiefs in the playoffs. The Chiefs are going to fall, but it's going to be a close one. The Colts are going to win this game 24-21, but here's how they're going to win it. The Colts go down, score a touchdown. The Chiefs are going to have the ball, or the Colts aren't going to score a touchdown. The Colts are going to have to punt because they're going to waste Kansas City's timeouts.
Okay.
The Chiefs are going to get the ball back with a chance to win. Driving down the football field, and good old Clayton Gathers with a pick to end the game. Patty Mahomes slips in the snow and throws a pick. Now, I will say this. The Colts are going to jump off to about a 10 or 14-0 lead. Here's why. The Chiefs were struggling to end the year.
Okay.
So much struggling. Okay, they beat the fire out of the Raiders, okay?
Yeah.
But Pat Mahomes has never played in a playoff game, never played in the college football playoffs, never played in this big of a game.
Okay.
Even though he's at home, never played in this big of a game. Andrew Luck's had plenty of these games, They've had a week off. They were kind of sputtering without it. Mm-hmm. The Colts already have a good run defense. They're not going to be able to run the ball a whole lot. Yeah. Patty Mahomes is going to have to adjust to throwing in the snow. He's going to have to adjust to throwing on a week off.
And a sleeper.
And then I don't know if you saw the Dan Orlovsky breakdown of the Colts defense, but it's very tricky. They show you man coverage.
Yeah.
So on the play that he was showing, one of the receivers for the Texans went out wide left, or the running back went out wide left. Darius Leonard followed him, showing man coverage to Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
They took a tight end, moved him far right. Another linebacker followed him.
Okay.
Again, showing man defense. Turns out to be a zone. And Deshaun Watson just threw it right at the Colts defender. Just right at him. Patty Mahomes has not seen this kind of a defense yet. Colts with the upset.
Okay. So, though I agree that Andy Reid is a choke artist in the playoffs, inexperienced quarterback, the field conditions obviously tip the scales in the Colts' favors. Like you said, it's going to be close. So with both of us taking the Colts, we got to break down the other side, which is the potency of the Chiefs' offense. Mm-hmm. So you would agree that they've degraded since the Kareem Hunt incident.
Oh, yeah,
Spencer Ware is a decent backup, every third down back out of the backfield. But Damian Williams is the guy that's replaced the number 2 position.
He helped me a lot in fantasy.
Yes, he did. Yes, good. Thank you. Side note, yes, those guys helped me win the fantasy title in my league this year. I got a trophy upstairs for it. It's very nice. But getting back on topic, then you have probably the best tight end in the league in Travis Kelce.
Absolutely.
The best receiving option also at tight end because he does play on blocking downs too. Does. Tyreek Hill we've already talked about. And side note, before I get too far ahead, T.Y. Hilton versus Tyreek Hill. Who wins in a race?
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill wins easy.
Because T.Y., before Tyreek Hill was popular, I thought T.Y. Hilton was the game's fastest player. Nobody could catch him. He's just blazing. Tyreek comes on the scene, and he just destroyed
Tyreek's a cheetah. T.Y. is just, they call him the ghost for a reason. He's just sneaky fast.
Yeah.
That's it. He's sneaky fast.
And Jalen Ramsey looks pretty stupid with his comments right now that he's just a special teams player. Right. So, hey, Jalen Ramsey, enjoy that couch, buddy.
Right.
And I'm glad you got to go to the playoffs at least once in your career. Right. So, anyways, the Chiefs' offense is very potent, as we're saying. Tyreek Hill. Wide receiver 2 is normally Chris Conley. He's not bad. He does sometimes get man coverage on himself and get open. Mm-hmm. But the Colts defense, like you said, unprecedentedly has been great. Probably the last 6-7 games of the year into the playoffs. They went down. They shut out the Texans. I'm worried about how you prepare for Patrick Mahomes after preparing for Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Arrowhead is always loud, probably loudest stadium.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun game.
Those fans are all pent up. They're pumped about winning the division. They think they have a chance to go all the way riding the offense.
Oh, and they should. And the offense is elite.
And the defense, though, is their big gapping hole.
Yes.
They're still working Eric Berry back at safety. Justin Houston is amazing at linebacker for them. But after that, it's very hard to point to one part of their defense and say that's their strong point because they struggle against the pass and run. They are susceptible. You saw in that Chargers comeback victory, just totally mentally break down Mike Williams and the 2-point conversion wide open. Even in the zone, just sitting in the zone at the goal line. So I do think the Colts will take this one. I hope
Marlon Mack's going to get 140 yards on the ground today.
That's what I was going to bring up, the running backs. And Marlon Mack taking most of the carries for Andrew Luck. And like you said, Andrew Luck has the quarterback experience in the playoffs. He's been there before. He knows how big this is. The only thing I'm worried about, too, is the Colts coach. He's a rookie coach, but I can't really say anything because he won last week. He's in his first playoff game. So does he duplicate the magic again or not?
I think he does. I mean, he has part of that Philly magic being their OC last year.
Oh, man.
All right, moving on.
The Philly magic. Let's get rid of that.
Moving on to the night game with the Cowboys and the Rams. For me, this was the hardest one, and I said on Monday that I was going to pick the Cowboys to win. I'm flip-flopping. The Seahawks should have won last week over the Cowboys, and they blew it.
Yes.
Here's the reason why I picked the Rams to win. The Rams are at home. They play the best when they're at home. I think they'll lose next week, but they're going to win this week because Dak Prescott won't be able to make enough plays. And Zeke will run for over 100, but Prescott will be the downfall. He's a game manager. not an elite quarterback.
See, and this is what I'm worried about with this matchup. It's a trap game for the Rams, but I think there's more pressure on the Cowboys to win than the Rams, who are the higher seed and the home team. Jerry Jones has backed up Dak Prescott and his team all this year. He hasn't lost faith in them through the rough preseason. They got Amari Cooper on their team. But honestly, I just don't think they have enough weapons offensively. I think the Rams defense too. Aaron Donald is a man possessed on the line. He's a bad man.
22 sacks this year.
I mean, what do you say about that? How you block a guy like that? I mean, I'm watching him beat double teams, and then you guys bring the backs on the backfield to help the linemen. Like, that's 3 guys right there. And they with Miles Jack, who they traded for earlier in the year from the Jags.
From the Jaguars. Great
exactly
steal.
Just fitting in the system now, finally getting comfortable. You're seeing him get more snaps. But I do think the Rams defense is glaring weakness is pass defense, but you don't have to worry about that.
Right, now
Dak
Prescott. I
mean,
right.
So I agree with you on Zeke. He's going to eat, but man, he better pray Aaron Donald stays out of the backfield because I honestly don't see, with all the injuries to the Cowboys' offensive line, I don't see how they're going to be able to block him.
No.
He's going to have 2 to 3 sacks, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Big game.
Yep.
Like you said, though, I think the Rams win this too. I think they do take this momentum the next week, but I don't know because of the matchup next week. Right. That's going to be the opposite for them.
I'm picking the Rams 20 to 14.
20 to 14. I will go.
And the only reason they only scored 20 is because the Cowboys defense is really, really good.
It has been a big improvement. The rookie linebacker I really like.
Von Der Esch
and
Jalen Smith together.
Jalen Smith, dude, on the line, coming off that edge. Dude, reminds me of almost a bigger, faster T. Suggs.
He's really good. He's really good.
I really do think the Rams do win this one. I'm looking at more of a beatdown, like 31-10.
Think so?
Yeah, I think Jared Goff, much like your Colts, they take the lead, they get ahead early, 14-0, and then they put it in cruise control. Because I don't think the Cowboys can cover Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, and Todd Gurley. Lots of weapons, man. And they're geared to go.
Those weapons.
Andrew Luck might have those weapons next year. So
we'll see.
Let's just finish this year before you get Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell,
I don't want Antonio Brown.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I don't want the diva. And Le'Veon.
I don't want the diva.
Could you imagine the offensive numbers? I would draft Andrew Luck in the first in fantasy if he had Le'Veon. Yeah. So
right, going on to Sunday's game.
Yes, let's talk about New England
and the Chargers. In the reign of dominance ends the Chargers with the upset.
What?
31-24.
Oh, man.
Phillip Rivers finally gets the monkey off his back. Tom Brady's weapons just aren't the same. Gronkowski hasn't been the same Gronkowski in 3-4 years.
Yes.
And Tom Brady's finally showing his age this year, and he just doesn't have the help that he has had. The defense isn't as great as it once was, and their offensive line is struggling a little bit. Melvin Gordon with two sacks tonight, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. Phillip Rivers goes for about 298 and about 3 touchdowns. Chargers with the upset.
Now, hold on a second. You mean to tell me in the last 2 decades of watching the Patriots dominant that Brian Belichick hasn't gotten his team up to play in the playoffs at home, especially after being, the 2 seed this year? I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I totally agree. Brady has declined. Gronk has declined. But there are too many weapons still for Belichick in this crazy offense with his crazy schemes and his just crazy hot routes, letting Brady do whatever he wants. I mean, Julian Edelman, and then not just Edelman, look, the 3-headed running back monsters. Sonny Michel. 4-headed running back, because you got Rex Burkhead, Sonny Michel, James White, you know what I mean? I don't know, because the Chargers defense is good. Bosa and Ingram on the line are just terrifying. And we saw that last week as Ravens fans. Well, me as a Ravens fan and all my other buddies. But it was hard after they made the adjustment to Lamar. But they're going to have to go through a totally different thing. Like the Colts, they have to totally prepare for a different type of quarterback this week. And they're going after Brady in the gun. Now, Lamar didn't really tempt them that much with the pass, but in the fourth quarter when he did, he torched them. So if Lamar's doing that, to me, Tom Brady has enough in the tank to get one more at home.
I think the Chargers just went to prevent defense at the end of the game to kind of seal it. And I hate prevent defense.
I do too.
I was brought up, prevent defense prevents you from winning. And I think the Colts kind of went into that soft zone at the end. And by the way, the Texans did not get that touchdown. Kuti was definitely fumbled.
Oh.
But anyways, the only reason I brought that up is because the Colts went to
I love you waited until almost 50 minutes into the show to let the Texans know your true feelings about the last touchdown.
It doesn't matter either way. 21-0, 21-7, still a big down.
Well,
but,
a shutout hurts just a little
bit
more. That goose egg, yeah, it hurts.
But I think that's what helped Lamar Jackson was the Chargers went into that soft zone.
And he was
but he still made the very good throws. Lamar Jackson really willed that offense to make it a game at the end, which was that game was so much fun to watch at the end.
Oh man, I almost shut it off at the end of the third. I'll be honest. And then you know what? Everyone's like, oh, they're not putting Flacco in, and you could tell the crowd and the media wanted everybody to put Flacco in, but it looks like the franchise has made the decision to ship him on his way. Naturally, a quarterback in that comeback mode, that is very tough to do. You're the youngest quarterback ever to start a playoff game. Until next year, probably Baker Mayfield will be in that conversation. And you know what? He probably will win because the Steelers are trashed. The Bengals are trashed. The Ravens are going to lose some people in free agency.
Yeah, the Ravens to me are the biggest wild card next year.
They
can either be really good or they can be really bad.
Exactly. And I think next year with teams preparing for Lamar and not Joe the whole season, there won't be that surprise surge where he's able to just turn the page halfway through the year. But anyways, getting back to the playoff game, I think the Pats win this one. I think Phillip Rivers has problems. I like Melvin Gordon in the matchup, but I just know how Belichick is in the playoffs, man. He has a bunch of no-names on defense. He doesn't want to pay anybody.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they find a way to play well enough to win or to give Brady a lead and let Brady basically be the game manager and dictate the pace of the game. So that scares me, just because Belichick is the emperor, man. His organization has the Death Star. And
I think the AFC are going to have the two best games of the weekend.
Oh,
the Colts-Chiefs are going to be the best game on tonight or today. Chargers-Patriots are going to be the best game on Sunday afternoon. Going into Sunday night, we're going to wrap it up. We have the Saints going on against good old Saint Nick in the Philly Magic, and I think I'm going to say it again. I doubted the Eagles once. I'm going to doubt them again. Blowout fashion. The Saints not only cover the 9, they win by 19.
Woo! Okay, so I
39-20.
I can't say what I call Nick Foles, but I'm gonna call him BDN on here. It's Nick.
Yep,
yeah,
I gotcha.
And that's how I feel about him. I got a lot of confidence in Nick Foles in this game, but to me, the Saints, this feels like destiny.
Yeah.
All right, this feels like another showdown. The last hoorah for Drew Brees. They're going to give him one last shot at it. And did you hear what the Saints coach did this week? How he brought in the Lombardi Trophy and all the money?
I personally didn't like it. I thought it was kind of classless, but that's that kind of team, and he knows what's going to get him hyped up. So for him, it might work. For the Colts, would not work.
Right.
But so he has to do it for the right team. I think he did it for the right team. They got inspired. And I said it from the beginning, I'm still picking the Saints to win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to have the Saints to roll.
Man, that's going to be a heck of a match if they can pull this off. But the Eagles, we can't ignore them because everyone counted them out last year. For whatever reason, Nick Foles checks in the postseason, and that's considered he's going to work. Every day he comes. And he brings his lunch pail, and he goes to work.
You know why? Nobody can stop him on third down. If you can convert on third downs, you win half the battle.
And you know what? You probably know better because you probably got to watch the Bears game, and I'm sure your father gave you a lot of insight on that, being a Bears fan. But, the Eagles have to realize they are here because of one lucky play. They did not play a complete game against the Bears. No. In fact, I felt the Bears outplayed them.
They did.
They just took that last probably 5 minutes of the game off.
And if you look just at the box score, Mitch Trubisky played a great game.
Yes, he did.
But if you watch the game, he didn't complete third downs. The Bears were horrible on third down. Mm-hmm. Turned the ball over too much.
Yes.
And he made good enough plays on first and second down. Mm-hmm. But again, if you can't convert on third down, you will not win football games.
Absolutely.
And that's where Trubisky needs to improve. If Trubisky can get that aspect, the Bears are going to be good for a long time. That defense is young.
Yes,
that defense is hungry. The offense is young. The offense is hungry.
Yes.
The Bears can be good, but Trubisky has to take that next step.
And we have to acknowledge another fact is this was his first playoff game.
It was.
There's a lot of jitters there. Everything goes in. Nobody predicted the Bears to be as good this year as they went.
No.
The Khalil Mack surge really helped them. and the rest of their division crumbling between the Lions going back to being terrible, the punching bag of that division, and then you saw a down year for the Packers. I don't think the Packers stay down very long just because their fans don't tolerate that. They're normally pretty successful. New coach. Aaron Rodgers still has a couple years in the tank. And the Vikings kind of, we learned that Kirk Cousins is overpaid.
Yes, he's
extremely
overpaid. We
all
knew that when he was a free agent, that he's going to be overpaid.
We did, and we just knew someone was going to throw money at him. They did, and now Vikings fans, look in the mirror. You have only yourselves to blame on that. Yep. So, going into the Eagles-Saints game, there's just too many weapons for the Eagles defense. I know they had their little dog mask, whatever crap they do last week against the Bears, but the Bears' offense compared to the Saints, I think, is kind of puny. When you have a two-headed running back monster like you have an Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, it's hard.
It's ridiculous. And Michael Thomas, which a top 5 receiver in the league, top 3 receiver in the league.
If not going to be the best. With Antonio Brown changing scenes, I think you put Michael Thomas at 1 next year. It's hard to argue against that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
DeAndre Hopkins is pretty good.
You know what? I'm so sorry. I forgot about DeAndre. No drops this year. That man is number 1. Pay him. You wear Adidas, so I don't really like that. And you're from Clemson, so.
And then I guess it really depends on if Odell Beckham can actually get a quarterback next year, whether he can take the next step or not.
Well, here's another factor into even just Odell. Is he coming to Cleveland? Because I listen to 923 The Fan.
He's not coming to Cleveland.
Listen.
Pipe dream.
Listen. If they offer as many picks as these clowns on the radio are saying, then the Giants have to take. Well, he's already long-term locked up. He wants to play with his boy Jarvis Landry.
I know, but they still have more holes they got to fill. The Browns still need offensive line.
I agree, but could you imagine Jim Dorsey gift wraps Baker Mayfield, Odell Bell,
and Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb?
Yeah, and all of a
sudden... They
still
need a tight end because Njoku got a case of the dropsies.
Oh, my goodness, and you just fill those positions in the draft with all the picks they have? Oh, my goodness, that is the scariest thing to me as a Ravens fan is looking at. Jarvis Landry on the side of the field. Then you got Callaway in the slot, and you're like, great, fly route, gone. Baker just throws it 60 yards up. So it's just terrifying for me as a Ravens fan because of my aging safeties. Right. But, back to the Saints game, dude. Thomas, blow up. I don't think there's anybody on the Eagles that can cover him.
And the Saints defense might be the best defense standing.
Defense
still wins championships.
Right.
So I'm picking the Colts. So I'm picking the Chargers.
Yep.
So I'm picking the Saints. And so I'm picking the Rams.
So, but going off last week, I have to admit I was wrong about the Bears. I was wrong about the Ravens.
I was right on that one.
Yeah, you were. Thanks.
I think I went 3. I went 2-2. I went 2-2.
Yeah, and I think
because I missed the Cowboys one because I picked the Cowboys to lose and I picked the Eagles to get blown out.
I picked the Cowboys, and the Ravens, and then it just and the Texans didn't even show up. Honestly,
no.
Just to recap last week real quick, bad coaching. Bill O'Brien did not do a good job. I understand Demaryius Thomas is out, and you don't have the weapons at wide receiver besides DeAndre.
Coutu showed up. Coutu had over 100 yards, which was great.
If I'm the Texans, I'm talking to the Ravens about possibly getting one of their tight ends.
Absolutely.
Hurst, you know what I mean? Getting somebody young to help him right now. Mark Andrews blew up, and I would be fielding, Max Williams, who's basically our tight end 4 becomes a free agent. I mean, they might want to look at him because they need someone sure-handed.
They need a running back, and they need a tight end.
Absolutely. Lamar Miller is looking old, my friend.
Yes, he is. Do not draft him in fantasy next year.
Which brings me to my next point. If you guys are listening, you guys want to join our fantasy league, we're going to be having a show league, and me and Austin are going to be in it together. We're going to be running it most likely. We're going to get it together, fill it out, 12-team league, and then we're going to vote on everything everything from roster to scoring. We're going to set it up. It's going to be a good time to get to play against us. I think we're pretty involved in the fantasy world pretty much. I love stats, and that's my thing. So if you guys want to, on our website, you can go ahead and you can fill out. There's a whole different section for that. Just give us
in the blogs. Just pick your team name.
Please
sign up for it.
Yes,
we'll make sure that you get an invite
And it's all sports. I run hockey, basketball, baseball, football. So if you guys are interested in all four, just put that on there. Please go check out the blog. Please hit like and the subscribe button on this. Man, until the next one, I know we got a couple more coming up. We have, you've been spitting blogs out left and right this week. I've been slacking.
I got one more coming out today for another 3 keys to the Colts victory.
Oh, man.
I enjoyed that. I had fun with that one last week. I thought it was great fun. And can I talk the biggest troll from last week with T.Y. Hilton in that clown mask? You know that didn't happen until Friday night?
Yeah.
He sent out some of the guys from the Colts organization
to go pick
it up.
Yeah, so he could wear it. And
because Jonathan Joseph called him, or because of his comment for T.Y. Hilton saying it was the second home days of the clown.
Right.
So he wore the clown mask and then tore up Houston all the way down the field.
Come on, David Joseph. Why? I know you're a good corner, but T.Y.'s a man, all right? Like, that dude is fast, sneaky fast, ghost.
The ghost.
Like, whatever you want to call him.
You got the cheetah versus the ghost today.
And you got Andrew Luck just heaving the ball up to him. So, I don't understand what you were trying to do there.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
So, you stirred the pot and you lost. But this has been our divisional recap as everything is going down.
Happy divisional weekend, everybody.
If your team's in it. If not, start prepping for the draft.
If not, yes, look ahead because
see how you can get Antonio Brown. See if your team has the budget for that dude.
Right.
Because he wants out of Pittsburgh.
And they're going to trade him. We're going to be talking about that.
That is
later on.
Yes, we will. And as the offseason progresses, we're going to be hitting up the news. We're going to be doing a lot of draft stuff. But don't forget about us. We're also doing other sports. We got another video possibly coming out today talking about some of the recent topics going on in the league, and we're talking about all the head coaching changes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right.
Like the Fed already said, leave a like, comment, give us your predictions of what you think is going to happen today, tomorrow, the rest of the way. Give me your Super Bowl champion, and we'll see you guys next time. SkiveWalker signing off.
Peace.